Namaste. Good evening. This is Dr. Aparna. I am an Ayurvedic psychotherapist. I am a passionate Ayurveda and psychotherapy infopreneur and a medical writer. I act as a catalyst in your emotional healing journey and support your emotional healing. So, I am your emotional healing synergist. In my pursuit to address, promote, and propagate Ayurveda and psychotherapy globally, I come up with discussions on Ayurveda, mental health, psychotherapy, and related, book reviews on this genre. So, uh, many days ago, somebody asked me, "How do you read a books?" Because I'm an avid reader, and she asked me, "How do you read books?" And and 1 or 2 years ago, I stumbled upon a book, "How to Read a Book." So this is a wonderful book as to how to read, great books. So I thought I would share some of the interesting insights that and my key takeaways of this book. So this book, "How to Read a Great Book," this book is written by Mortimer J. Adler. He was an American philosopher, educator, author who believed that everyone has the potential to understand and engage with great ideas. He saw reading as a vital tool for intellectual growth and a gateway to a deeper understanding of the world. So, the introduction, why is how he happened to write this book, "How to Read a Book," that sets the stage for Adler's core message. So some key points here are the crisis of reading. See, Adler says, believes that the decline of serious reading in the modern society. He argues that people are context with superficial consumption of information and lack the skills to engage with complex texts. So, and the aim of the book, see, Adler's goal is not to teach speed reading, but rather to equip readers with the tools to actively engage with and understand great books. So these are classic works that have endured due to their enduring value and ability to spark deep thinking. So this book also talks about the four levels of reading. So Adler's concept of the four levels of reading, that is elementary level, inspectional level, analytical level, and synoptical level. So we will discuss all these levels. So these levels represent decreasing, increasing degrees of depth and engagement with the text. So he also talks about active versus passive reading. So Adler emphasizes the distinction between, the passive reading, that means simply absorbing words, and active reading, that is critically analyzing and questioning the text. So he encourages readers to to become active participants in the process of understanding. The importance of discussion. The introduction highlights the value of discussing what you have read with others. So this exchange of ideas, fosters a deeper understanding and exposes you to different interpretations. This is why it is important to read this book. So, as I said, there are several compelling reasons, to delve into Adler's book, that is, "How to Read a Great Book." So why should we read is this book is to become a more active and engaged reader. That means this book encourages us to move beyond passive consumption of mere words. So, it teaches active reading strategies like questioning, summarizing, and analyzing arguments. So, for example, imagine reading a self help book on productivity. Passive reading might leave you with vague takeaways. So, active reading, as advocated by Adler, would involve questioning the author's methods. So, critically evaluating their effectiveness and considering if they align with your own work style. Then, for example, if you have to apply this, so this skill translates to all areas of your life. That means you will approach new articles, research papers, and even social media posts with a more critical eye, enabling you to discern fact from opinion. So you can differentiate the fact from the opinion and evaluate the information presented. So this book teaches us to become a more active and engaged reader. Next is unlocking deeper understanding of any text. So what happens is this book also outlines different levels of reading, from basic comprehension to in-depth analysis. So what happens, this frameworks equips us to tackle any kind of text, from a technical manual to a philosophical treatise. For example, let's say you are assigned a complex scientific paper in college. So, by understanding the concept of analytical reading, level 3, that means how to read a book. There is level 3 here. We'll discuss all the levels. So, for example, analytical reading. So you will be better equipped to dissect the research methods, evaluate the evidence, and grasp the paper's core contribution to the scientific field. So, what happens is this enhanced reading ability empowers you to navigate a world overflowing with information. That means you can efficiently extract key points from complex documents, saving time and boosting your overall comprehension. The next benefit is participating in the great conversation. So, Adler introduces the idea of great conversation. That means a continuous exchange of ideas across generations through great works of literature and philosophy. So reading these great books allows you to join this intellectual discourse. That means imagine reading, a book, Plato's Republic, a foundational work on political theory. So, by engaging with the book, you are entering a conversation. By engaging with the book and then engaging into a conversation. So, you are entering a conversation that has shaped political thought for centuries. So, what happens is this perspective allows you to connect with the ideas that have shaped our world and contribute your own voice to the ongoing conversation. So, it fosters intellectual growth, in a way, brainstorming as well, and a deeper understanding of human thought. So, this book also helps in developing critical thinking skills. So, the book emphasizes, constant questioning while reading. So, this approach, hones, that means increases your critical thinking skills by encouraging you to evaluate evidence, identify biases, and analyze arguments from multiple angles. So questioning while reading, this is an important thing, because to when we have to evaluate evidence, when we have to identify biases, and when we have to analyze arguments from multiple angles. For example, if we are reading a historical account through the lens of how to read a book, this would involve questioning the author's sources, considering alternative interpretations of events, and forming your own informed conclusions. So, this critical thinking ability extends beyond reading. So, it equips you to analyze information objectively in everyday life. So, to make sound decisions, on and informed decisions, and effectively solve the problems at hand. So the next thing this book helps is enhance your enjoyment of reading. So you will relish reading. That means by becoming a more active and analytical reader, you gain a richer understanding of the author's craft and nuances of the language. So this deeper appreciation can enhance your enjoyment of overall reading. So imagine you're reading a classic novel. By actively engaging with the plot, the characters, and the literally devices and the literature, you will discover layers of meaning that you might have missed otherwise. So, what happens is this newfound appreciation for the written word can motivate you to explore a wider range of genres and discover new favorites, transforming reading into a more fulfilling pastime. So, see, how to read a book isn't just a manual, it is an invitation to a more profound reading experience. So, by applying its principles, you can unlock a world of knowledge, sharpen your critical thinking, and become a more active participant in the ongoing exchange of ideas. So if we have to go into the book, so if we dive deep into the book, the strategies, the tips. So what are the strategies for active reading? So this book isn't just a title like how to read a book, it's like a roadmap, to becoming more active and insightful reader. So, this book explains four levels of reading. So, this framework categorizes reading into levels. That means elementary level, that is decoding words, inspectional level, that is grasping main ideas, analytical level, that is dissecting arguments, and syntopical level, that means comparing multiple books. So, you choose the level based on the text and your purpose of reading the book. So, it also explains about three stages of reading. So this process guides you through, first reading, that is grasping the basics, second reading, that is critical analysis, and third reading is engaging in a dialogue with the ideas. So, this book also teaches us about questioning. So, don't be a passive recipient of information. Actively question the author's purpose, claims, evidence, and potential biases. So, what the questions could be like: what are they trying to achieve? How do they support their arguments? Are there any alternative perspectives? So, next is annotation. That means making marginal notes, underline key passages, or using sticky notes if it's your book, of course, to engage with the text. So, jotting down questions, jotting down reactions, jotting down connections to your own knowledge. Next is, this book also talks about summarizing. That means pausing to summarize sections or chapters in your own words helps solidify comprehension and identify areas that require further exploration. For example, I am doing the same. I have made some marginal notes, I have underlined key passages, and I have jotted down some questions, and I have summarized, the chapters in my own words. So all these things will help us to dive deep into the book and enjoy the reading. And next, this book also talks about tips for effective reading. So start with great books. That means Adler suggests beginning with classic works known for their enduring value and ability to spark deep thinking. So these books, what happens, can serve as a foundation for analytical reading skills. So read actively. So don't just skim the surface. That means engage with the text through questioning, annotation, and summarizing, as I mentioned above. So be patient. That means deep reading takes time and effort. So don't get discouraged if you need to reread sections or take breaks to process complex ideas. Next is expand your horizons. That means do not limit yourself to familiar genres. So challenge yourself with different types of books to broaden your perspective and encounter diverse ideas. Next is utilize external resources. That means consult dictionaries, encyclopedias, or online resources to clarify unfamiliar terms or concepts encounter in the text. Now we can also use Google, or the browsing medias, if not dictionaries and encyclopedias. So discuss with others. Next is talking about what you have read with others reinforces understanding and exposes you to different interpretations. So what you have to do is, determine your purpose for reading a book. Are you reading the book for pleasure? Are you reading the book for knowledge? Are you reading the book to analyze an argument? So this will help you, or this will guide your approach and the level of engagement required. So this book is a set of tools and strategies that you can adapt based on specific text when you are tackling and your own reading goals. So we can, by all by incorporating all these methods as mentioned in the book, what we can do is we can transform in ourselves as from a passive reader into an active thinker, unlocking a deeper appreciation for the written word and the vast world of knowledge it offers. So for today, we are just going to end the session for today, and in the next session we are going to discuss all the minute details of what are four levels of reading, the levels of reading and stages of reading. All of that we'll discuss in the next session. So thanks for staying tuned. If you have any queries, suggestions, or if you have any thoughts, concerns, and takeaways, please do mention in the comment section. And namaste. Thanks for watching.